really making the fastball move, and just how many different times, very good offensive club was over the top of Daryl's fastball. It was really impressive. Thought Nick was really good. We just weren't going to send him out there for a long period of time. And, his command was off at times, but I thought he really spun the fastball very well. And, we just found a way to score. I tell you, that guy, Vardamore, I mean, my goodness, he can really pitch. His fastball, I'm standing on deck with our hitters. His fastball's so hard to see. It's not big-time velocity, but there's so much deception in his delivery, and there's so much movement. We just had to really kind of hang in there and put our face right over the plate and say, we got to punch some balls in the middle of the field. We finally did that, and generated some things by moving some runners a little bit. But for the most part, really pleased with how we came back after swinging and missing so much early on.
You get the 1-0 lead there, but then you load it up, and Jared's had a rough day. He taking a couple call strikeouts. He's a guy that doesn't take many call strikeouts, but he comes through the big hit.
Yeah, he is just a really tough kid mentally. And, I think that's one of the strengths of our club this year is we have a lot of kids mentally who are tough enough to be able to deal with striking out twice. And, I just thought he hung in there, and did what he does best. Instead of trying to do something else, he did what he does best, which get to the middle of the field with a line drive, a ground ball. And it was a huge swing in the ball game right there.
Is that another product of 4 out of the 5 runs being with 2 outs again?
Yeah, boy, we'd like to score some, without, but we'll take them all if we can. But, I think it's a 2-strike, 2-out approach type of deal at the plate where we're just getting a lot shorter and quicker, with 2 strikes and 2 outs. But, again, that needs to happen earlier in the count as well. But, again, our kids really hung in there and, really pleased with the way we defended it. Just watching Jerron run down balls out there, he's making it look easy, and it's not. I mean, he's running the balls that other people aren't going to get to, and so is CT. And boy, I tell you what, even Nick made some great plays in left field, and he hadn't played out there very often.
What did you say about
this weekend?
Wes, Big Pen, yeah. Wes, we have 3 Wes's on our club, by the way. That's all right.
One that had the big week.
Diggy. You say Wes, and I have to think Diggy. He's a really mentally tough kid. He's working so hard on his stroke and is, by himself. And he just, I think he had a little bit more of an aggressive approach this weekend. And he's got to be more of a pull guy. And I think that's something we talked about last week is, he needs to be one of you guys on our roster who's not worried about getting to the middle or right side. He needs to be a pull guy because his stroke dictates that. And I think he's really found himself a little bit. He's such a great leader on our club. Even when he's not swinging the bat well, he does so many things for our club. He's like having just another coach on our coaching staff. I could keep you guys here all day talking about Wes Thigpen. He is such a special young man, and he really makes us go in a lot of ways.
Have you found a second baseman in Frazier? I mean, after what he's done this weekend?
Yeah, offensively, he's really given us a boost there.
He was one took home too.
Yeah, he did, and we had that play on. And again, when you put those kind of plays on, you don't put them on that often, and you're worried about a freshman because they've never been in that situation before. But he and Shep just executed that play to absolute perfection. That's exactly what we wanted to do, and it's easy to coach when you got guys who just, you can call a play and they just flat out run it to perfection. But at the second base situation, Frazier is a guy who's we knew we needed to give him more and more opportunities, and when we give him the opportunities, he's taking advantage of them.
That 5th inning, I think you had 2 bunts, 2-out single, just a lot of those small ball things that you like to do so well.
Yeah, I can read the Weather Channel as well as anybody. 8 miles an hour in from the northeast means the ball's not going to travel very well, and you got to do those things. You got to hit ground balls, you got to move runners, you got to put guys in motion, and you got to do the bunting game. We work so hard on those areas. It's a new era. These bats and this ballpark really dictate that. You're probably sick of hearing me say that, but that's just how it works in this league.
You said new era. It's now I think all the things done the first time since. First shutout since 08, first sweep since 07, first 500 record. Now practically top of the West right now, just 2 weekends in.
Yeah, we're not even going to think about those things, Dave. We're going to think about Tuesday, which is Alabama A&M, and we're going to do everything we can to get some guys ready to play in that game and to execute, because as we've seen in the SEC in the midweek, guys can get destroyed. teams come into your place, they're really excited about playing, and you need to match their enthusiasm, because the minute you're not, you can get into a really tough situation, and that's what our focus needs to be. And then we'll do a really good job for 3 days trying to get ready for a good Georgia club.
Your guys are going to be back on the national radar somewhat this week, just because everybody's going to have their wide eyes to this. I mean, how do you handle that going in now that maybe not necessarily the target on their back, but there's some people know what you guys are capable of?
Well, when you're in this league, that's automatic. I think you're on everybody's radar, no matter ranked, unranked. And this time of year, rankings are so meaningless to begin with. But the only things you pay attention to is how your opponents are doing, because RPI is such a big factor in everything you do. But at the end of the year, I think our kids will be excited about that. Our coaches won't think 1 second about it. Our kids will live on the internet and they'll say, "Hey, we're moving up," and they're excited. But we won't even discuss or think about that.
I'm sorry, John.